Trudie, when you're ready, we're going to go through this video, you and I, one step at a time, and we are going to enable you to make this card because you can do this. So wait until you're not frustrated anymore, and we're going to do this. Okay, so upload the last file I've sent you. I sent you a new file where I put that bounding rectangle back in. It's going to help keep it the right size. It's just easier. So go ahead and upload the new file I've sent you. Might take a minute. There's a lot going on. I like to then close the pane on the left. You can see my mouse kind of a third of the way over the screen in the middle. If you click right there, it'll close the automatic pop-up that's come up. So as it comes in, it's already selected the whole image together. You can see at the top it's 32 inches by 24 inches. Double check that measurement before we get started. That's important. So the first thing we're going, and you see over here on the right, see this exclamation point? It's telling you that something is large, and we're about to take care of that. So your very first step after you get the file imported, we're going to ungroup it in the right. If you can see, I've clicked there at the ungroup panel. Click anywhere that's outside what is selected on your screen, and it will deselect everything. You can tell everything's deselected because nothing in the right pane has turned green either. We're going to scroll all the way to the bottom in that right pane. So my mouse is at the right side of your screen and I'm scrolling down through all the pieces. And then at the very, very bottom, it was that rectangle. As I click on it, you can see it on the screen. That rectangle is what was bringing everything in at a size that we can control. Design space is a little weird. So I'm going to select that first, and I'm just going to hit my delete key, and I'm going to make it go away. So now we're ready to start changing the pieces, and we're going to do each one of them one at a time, change the pieces the way they need to be changed. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. You can zoom in either by using your fingers if you have a touchpad, or you can use at the bottom left. You'll see I'm clicking on the numbers in the bottom left of the screen. I know you've done a lot of this before, so forgive me if I'm over explaining. First thing we're going to do are change the black lines on the grill to score. So sometimes you can be lucky enough to click on it with your mouse and have it select the lines. More often than not, it's just going to select the background shape. If you look over here in the right pane, you can see it has selected the background shape. You can see the shape here that my mouse is going around is the same that is on your screen. Scroll down a little in that right-hand column, and the line right above that, that is the line that is the lines that we want to make into our score. So we're going to select that in the right-hand pane. We're going to come up to our cut menu, and we're going to make that a score. Next thing we're going to do is select those two items. You can either use your mouse, do not grab it the way I just did. You can either use your mouse and drag over both items, and that will select the two items. You can see in the right-hand frame, in the right-hand pane, I have two things selected. Or you can just select them, not on the screen, but in the right-hand panel. So I've selected the background. I'm going to hold down my Shift key, and I'm going to select the lines, and then I'm going to hit attach. One way to double check that you have attached the right things is to then click on this eye icon to the right in that right pane. It makes the grill and the lines go away. That means you have the right things attached to each other. Now that we've done that, I'm just going to delete. I'm going to drag my mouse over this text and hit delete. You don't have to delete the text. It just might be cleaner for you. Now I'm going to scroll over, and if you want to go do that step first and come back, I'm going to pause here a minute, and then we're going to do the pen lines on the control panel. Okay, so now we're at the control panel. We're going to click on the control panel, and just like the grill, we see in the right panel it has selected the background shape. We're going to scroll down a little bit, And then we're going to select that layer right above it in the right panel. And those, you can almost see the little 4 shapes there in the right panel. We're going to change those from a cut to a pen. You can choose any pen color you would like as well. And then once you have those 2 things changed, you're either going to draw a rectangle over both, or I find it easier to just select the 2 in the right pane. So we've selected our grill backing piece, which you can see because there's a rectangle around it on the screen. And then I'm going to hold my shift key and get that pen line layer as well. And then I'm going to hit attach. Once that is done, you can delete this text as well. Again, you can click on it or draw a rectangle around it and then hit your delete key. Handle's a little trickier because that text is nestled a bit, but that worked. I'm going to pause here. If you want to go do that, hit pause in the video and then come back. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to change 2 of these lines to score and leave 1 as cut. Because the default is cut, we don't have to do anything to this line, but we don't want to change it to score. So just like the others, we're going to click over here. It has selected the background, which is our cabinet door. And then on the right-hand pane, I'm scrolling down a little bit. You can see 3 lines above that cabinet door. We know 2 we want to change to score and 1 we want to leave alone. So I'm going to just click on them one at a time and it shows me on the screen which is which. So that first one is the one we want to leave alone. We're going to leave it as cut. The next one we're going to make into a score line, and then the one under that a score line as well. You can either change them one at a time. So I have the score line selected. I go up here, I select score, or if you wanted to, you could hold down your shift key, select both of those lines, and then go to score. Once we have that done, we can delete the text. Again, that's optional. We're going to delete our arrows, and then we're going to either draw a rectangle over all of it to select all of those layers and see it in the right-hand pane, or you can select them just in the right-hand pane by clicking in the right-hand pane and holding your shift key down, get them all selected and hit attach. You can double check that you've gotten all the lines attached by hitting that I. If you failed to attach one, maybe I can do this. If we did it incorrectly, for example, and we didn't get all the things attached, when we did that, see how the line is still left on the screen? It means we didn't get all the layers we needed. So that's just a good way to double check that. So I'm going to select everything and hit attach. Okay, I'm going to pause here again. Go take care of that, and we just have a couple more things to do. Okay. I'm going to scroll down and then to the left so that we can do this kind of left to right. So our grill rim, 2 rectangles. So I'm going to click on the screen. In the right pane, you can see it has selected that rib. I'm going to scroll down in that right pane and you can see the line above it are the score lines. So we're going to change that to score. I'm going to either draw a rectangle to get both of those selected or select them in the right-hand pane and hit attach. I'm going to do the same thing with the rib below it. You see it selected here on your right-hand pane. The line above it is the line to make a score. And then for this one, I'm going to hold down my shift key and in the right-hand pane, select both layers and hit attach. I'm going to drag over the 2 pieces of text, hit delete. We're now going to do the ribs that go through the middle of the grill. This one, it might select, nope, selected the background. Okay, sometimes you can be lucky enough to select when you click on things to get the score lines to be your selection, but most often it wants to select the bigger shape, which it has done. So we look in the right pane and we see it has selected that number 4 background shape. I just scrolled down a bit if it jumped on your screen. So we can see what's been selected. It is this shape. The line above it in the right-hand pane is what we want to turn into a score. So we're going to make that into a score. We're going to drag over both of those. We're going to hit attach. We're going to click off of that item somewhere, anywhere in the background, just to deselect everything. And then we're going to do the same thing to find number 3. So that's our number 3 background shape. If you look at the right pane, the line above it is the one that we want to make into a score. And then we're going to hold down our shift key. And in this case, I'm just selecting the right-hand pane, both of those. And then I'm going to hit attach. If you want to double check you've attached the right things, we're going to hit that eyeball and turn it on and off to make sure the right things disappear and then come back. Doing the same thing for number 2. So the line above it in the right-hand pane, we're going to make a score. And then we're going to select both of those things, 2 things selected on your right-hand pane, and we're going to hit attach. And then again, number 1, we've clicked on it, we see the background shape. I'm scrolling down a little bit, getting to the line above it, changing that to score, selecting both of those items. This time I did it in the right-hand pane by holding down my shift key, and I'm going to hit attach. While we're here, I'm going to go ahead and delete the text. Couple more things to do. Okay. Our pen lines on our stakes. This is completely optional. You can even delete these if you don't want to use it. But if you do want to do this, it'll add the sear lines to the stakes. So the first thing we're going to do is click on one of the stakes. And you can see over here in the right panel, we have a stake. We're going to scroll down a little bit, and the the level right above that stake has your lines on it. So those are your sear marks. We're going to change that to pen. I like to change it to a dark red. So let's go with a wine. Then we're going to, in the right pane, select those 2 layers, hit attach. We're going to do the same thing for the other 2 stakes. So I've selected one, I'm going to the line above it, pen, right color, and then holding down my shift key, I'm clicking on the stake below and hitting attach. And then the third one, I've clicked on the stake. The line above it is now selected in the right pane. Pen, wine, and then to select both of those things, I'm holding on my shift key and selecting both of them in the right-hand pane and hitting attach. 2 more things to change, I believe. We have our relish lid detail. If you have a fine point pen, use that here. If not, use your regular pen, you'll be great. We're going to select that lid. So you look over in your right panel, you've got your lid selected. That little accent line, you can either delete it right here, just hit your delete key, or go ahead and change that to pen. And again, if you want to change it to extra fine, you can do that too. And then once we have that selected, I'm back in our right pane. I'm holding down my shift key, selecting those 2 items and hitting attach. And then we're going to move over here to our flames. These score lines on the flames are solely so that you can line up these red pieces below. They overlap a bit, and it just helps a little bit with the score line showing you where to put each piece. So we've clicked on our yellow piece. We see it in the right-hand pane. The line right above it is the one that we want to make a score line. So we make that score. And again, either on the screen, drag your mouse over both of those things, the score line and the shape, to select both of them, or just select them manually in the right-hand pane, holding down the shift key, and then hit attach. So I do want to show you what will happen if you want to go ahead and make this without deleting all the black pieces. It's absolutely fine to do so. When you go to make, Your pieces have come in. You can see that your score lines are attached. They're showing up here. But all you need to do if you prefer to leave the black pieces in your project is don't make this, I have my mouse on the left side of the screen here, do not make the black layer. So once you've made your number 5 off-white layer, you can go ahead and just click on mat number 7 to make the red, and you can just skip the black layer. So you can either delete all the black pieces in your project, or when it comes to making them, just don't make the black layer. That's an option you have. But you should be all set. So I hope when you get your second wind and you want to come back to this, this makes more sense. If not, let me know. I can make another video. But I think you're going to be good. I think you're going to be all set. Good luck.